how to get real magical powers. I can teach you how to get real magical powers, but you will need to put away some ideas about how to get there. Whether you're looking for ways to get rich, fall in love, have better health, learn telepathy, or even fly, this video is for you.
So subscribe to this channel right now and click the bell button for future uploads, and let's get going.
Now I'll explain how to give yourself real magical powers, and it's not what you think. Remember that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic, and so by me explaining how to get magical superpowers, you may find the magic wearing a bit thin. However, if you want the superpowers that I'm talking about, simply watch this video all the way through to the end. Take notes if you want to as well. There's a lot to learn, and like any budding wizard, you'll need to study to get the best results. Welcome to Real World Magic, where we make your life more magical. My name is Neil Trigger. I'm going to be your magical host, and today I'm talking about how to get real magical powers, or superpowers. Now, I need to be realistic and say that I don't sell magic wands like Ollivander in the Harry Potter series, but don't panic and don't click away. I've promised you magical superpowers and I'm going to deliver on that. So here is the Real World Magic top ways to get real magical powers. Telepathy. Telepathy has another name in the field of psychology, and it's called rapport. Rapport is the state in which two or more people can communicate so deeply that the boundaries of reality fade away. In other words, if you and I were in rapport, we might both forget who said something and just agree that we both think it. That might sound a bit lame as a version of telepathy, but it's a great way to give you superpowers, because if you can control getting into and out of rapport, you can control conversations and persuade anyone to do anything you want them to. The key to getting into rapport is mirroring. Other videos will explain the ins and outs of mirroring techniques, and you can do a YouTube search for that. But the most important thing to remember is not to mimic. By mirroring successfully, you can get into a telepathic state where other people are easily molded to your will. If you need an example, let me tell you a story. When I was in my 20s, I entered a business competition against 36,000 people. I got down to the last 100 or so before needing to pitch my idea to 6 people in turn. I gave them my pitch, and as I was being asked questions, I mirrored each judge in turn. I mirrored their body language, their tone of voice, blinking and breathing rates, and getting into a deep rapport with each of them in turn. One judge said something about my idea while we were in this rapport, and at the end of the interview, she leaned forward and said, "I love what you said about," and then proceeded to tell me about her own idea as if I had said it. Now, of course she loved my idea because it was her idea. Now, by blurring the boundaries of what was her and what was me, she implanted the idea in her own head that I had thought of her own great idea, and I was happy to take credit for it. Incidentally, I won that national competition. Now, here's something freaky anyone can try with telepathy. Next time you're on a bus, sit near the back if you can. Pick someone who's sat alone, not listening to music and not distracted by their phone. An older man or woman, perhaps. Now, stare hard at the back of their head. Imagine scratching a hole in their back of their head with a sharp knife, or drilling a hole through their skull. Don't break eye contact with the back of the head, and the person will eventually turn round because they sense you staring at the back of their head. It's really spooky and nobody can explain it, but it is a reliable test of your new magical superpowers. You now have the magical skill of telepathy. Number 2, learn witchcraft. Put your wand away. This is real world magic where anything is possible. And in the real world, there's no flashing lights or whooshing sounds as you cast your magic out into the world. But magic is much more subtle than that, but it really does work. And yes, I said that. Magic does work, and I'll explain why I believe that. This may sound like hocus pocus, but spells work too, and the way that they work is different to how you might expect though. In a study by Dr. Richard Wiseman, it was found that lucky people have better luck than unlucky people. That is, people who thought they were lucky have better luck than those who think they're unlucky. Richard Wiseman is the professor for the public understanding of psychology, and he wrote a book called Quirkology. He explains that merely by thinking you're lucky, you will be. Thinking you're unlucky will also make you unlucky. The way this works is that people get dealt both good and bad luck all the time. People who think they're lucky recognize their good luck and either ignore their bad luck, through something called confirmation bias, or by changing the situation through their own actions into something that better suits their view of the world, and they might do that unconsciously. So this view of their world is that they are lucky, so they deserve good luck. And obviously this can be fairly complex. So let's give an example. Dr. Richard Wiseman conducted a luck experiment where he surveyed people to find out if they considered themselves lucky or unlucky. Shortly after the interview, the participant left the experimentation building and went home. But on the way, they were given the opportunity to find someone's money. So this money was given by an experimenter, and they dropped that into the path of the participant. People who thought that they were unlucky usually walked past the money without even seeing it, while people who thought that they were lucky took the money. This doesn't mean either is lucky or unlucky, merely that people's perceptions affect what they do with the situation that they're presented with. Your mind works on symbols, and your unconscious mind, the part that you're not aware of, but that controls your heart rate and automatic reactions like fear and excitement, work on symbols too, because language is just too slow and complex for its rapid and almost primal instincts. To communicate with your unconscious mind is to increase your power, and you do this in ways that you may not even realize. So how do you communicate in symbols? Well, the best way is with spells. Spells are hugely powerful tools to talk to your unconscious mind. They focus your energy on what you want and use symbols like candles and actions, together with chants and imagination, to bring about change. Most witches say that reading someone else's spell book and doing those spells is nowhere near as powerful as you making up your own spell and doing that from scratch. And this is why. Your own symbolism is powerful for you. You will make changes to your own behaviour, which is the only thing really that you have any control over anyway. Remember that breaking the laws of physics and interfering with free will is impossible, pointless, and ill-advised anyway, so it's probably better to ask for perfect love rather than saying,
I want Sally to fall in love with me.
Spells work, and this is how you can cast real spells. Number 3, illusion. My life is experienced by me. I influence it. I control what I see, what I smell, what I feel, touch, taste. Without my nerves, all of my senses would stop and the world would go black. Even my brain would stop. Illusion is reality, and reality is illusion. What I see isn't reality, it's my version of it. There's a saying that perception is reality, and it's true, but what I perceive and what you perceive as reality are both true to us and not true in the world. At least not entirely true. You see, if 1,000 people all saw a spacecraft land in Times Square in New York, it might be deemed a real event. But several thousand people saw David Copperfield make the Statue of Liberty vanish, and the latter was an illusion. But it was a very real illusion. Very real reality to those spectators who saw it. So my final point here is that reality is not yours to control, but if you can control what other people witness, it amounts to the same thing. If you contrive events so that it looks like you vanished through a wall and there's no sensible explanation to your audience other than magical powers, that is what their reality is. So to get rich, start believing you're lucky. Even if you haven't been so far. Remember that luck is all in your head. You're lucky, so be lucky. If you want to fall in love, do spells, increase your attractiveness. The spells will work on your unconscious mind to change how you stand, how you feel, how other people see you. What is this spell anyway? Make it up yourself. This may not be what you want to hear, but by making up and doing this spell yourself, you'll be more invested in it. Frankly, it doesn't matter what you do, provided that you believe it will work. If you want my spell, light a red candle and a green candle. Circle the red candle symbolizing love with the green candle symbolizing luck. Do that 7 times, as 7 is a lucky number and powerfully magical. Once done, fuse the red and green candles together so that flames burn as one and blow out both. But as I said, that's my spell, not yours. It is well recognised that people who have a happy life, one that's full of love and laughing, live longer than those who don't. So it's easy to have better health simply by being happy, and happiness starts with recognising all the good things in your life. So it's all about perception too. And flying? Well, I'm afraid that's going to have to be an illusion, because physics just won't allow you to fly like Superman. You can obviously fly using machines like planes or jetpacks, but remember, until these things were invented, nobody thought it was even possible, so why not try something new? It might even work. I hope these tips have helped you and that you'll put this advice to good use. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe for more of the same, and click the bell button to be notified of future uploads. That's it, but until next time, stay magical.